going.
Look at the window. It's okay. Look at the window. Look. Window. We're on the train.
It's getting colder.
Yeah, look at that.
Pardon me?
Weather always changes in a full moon. So we go to 15th of December.
Is that when the snow's going to start?
Get your woolies.
Wow.
Yeah. I heard that there's supposed to be a ton of snow this year. Like the olden days.
I know, like olden days.
Yeah. Then they'll need that big orange snow plow. Did you see it over on the tracks there? They use those things to clear the tracks so the train can go.
Look.
Because they can't run on ice. It's got to be on steel.
Look at that.
Can you imagine living in this thing? This was luxury back in the day. This would be the conductor's private car. If they were on a work detail that would last 1 week, maybe 2 weeks, depending on where they were going, the conductor would have this as his main car, and maybe you would have a brakeman or a trainman also have access to this. They would bring their own food, and this was their heating as well as their oven. It was fuel oil. It opens up, a good little bake shop, make a pie. Use it for a frying pan on top. The water would be carried in here, but it wasn't drinkable. This was just for washing or whatever. And there is a washroom back by the back door, but it's nailed shut. That's probably a good thing. But I'd be curious to see what kind of facilities they had. So I think it would be pretty cold or boiling hot. Anybody ever used an oil furnace like that or a space heater? They seem to have only two temperatures, too hot and too cold. The seat that you ladies are on the left side, that was the conductor's bed. And this would fold out to be the trainman or the brakeman's bed. You could sleep end to end. And they would put on a horsehair mattress stuffed with horsehair. So, you ever felt a horsehair mattress? Not much give to it. Not like a Posturepedic. So they would sleep there with a couple of blankets. This is their dining room table. They probably use newspapers for tablecloths. What we're doing right now is we've reached the end of this particular line. Goes close to the highway. And then a switchman would get out and flip a switch so that now when the train goes forward, it's going on a different track. We'll be behind the station when we go down that way. That's not such a bad job in the summertime, but in the wintertime when you have to dig it out of the snow and the ice and chip it off and make sure that you made the proper connection so the train doesn't go off the track, I don't think I'd like that job much. But it makes you think that maybe they're always going to need humans to run the trains. Only so much computers can do, and I haven't seen a computer shovel snow yet.
Look outside the window.
This train is operated by diesel fuel. That stinking smoke that comes out of it, same as the city bus. The other engine, the locomotive, the steam locomotive that's in front of the station, the big black one, it was operated by someone actually physically shoveling coal into the furnace that would heat the boiler to make the steam to make the wheels go around. When my dad came home from World War II, he got a job with the railroad, and he started off as a fireman, and that meant that their job was to keep the fire burning in the box. And he would be on the run from Smiths Falls to Montreal, one way, 10 ton of coal he had to shovel. And he was just a skinny man. I don't know how he did it, but maybe that's why he was skinny, because he had to shovel so much coal. And the railroad officials were very particular about the color of smoke that you would put out the smokestack. If it was white smoke, it meant that the train was running efficiently. If it was black smoke, it meant that all the women beside the railroad would be phoning the superintendent on laundry day, because now they had to do their laundry over again, because the black smoke dirtied their laundry. Any questions about anything on the train, kids? Yes?
Why did it go like this and then over back over?
Okay, like that. The cars are connected by something called knuckles that fit together like this, right? And there's a little bit of play in them. So when the engine starts, it pulls and then plunk, it connects, and that pulls the next car with it. So there's a little bit of space, so that's why you get the clunk. And back in the day, and probably still today, the officials would grade engineers by how much of a clunk they had, and you weren't allowed to make big clunks.
Just like Grandma driving a Standard.
Where's Grandma? Is she in here?
She's
Uh-huh.
up there, or I wouldn't have said it if she
I
was down
wondered how brave you were.
And what's upstairs?
It's just an observation area, a couple of seats up there so that you can sit up there in the cupola and have a look. It's kind of neat.
I was wondering why they wouldn't have just put the beds up there instead.
It would be very cold.
Yeah. Oh. Well, yeah. That's
Yeah, and it's really not big. It has two seats on either side, but you couldn't lie down there. There's not enough room. Not like the observation car that you get in a passenger train now if you're going out west. That would be luxury. You wouldn't be sitting on bare boards.
Yeah, outside.
When you're going along the train, if you see a piece of metal standing up like that that's got a circular red thing on it, that's the switch where they have to make the connection to change the direction of the track.
Yeah,
I
outside.
think right now we're behind the snowplow.
Are we?
Outside?
Any other questions? The conductor, the main conductor, or as they would say, the big O, he'll be coming in to answer questions, or if anything you have, he'll be on his way now. So he'd be in charge, a conductor would be in charge of the whole train. Passenger trains and freight trains.
Who looks after the museum?
Pardon me?
Who looks after the museum, and where do you get your funding?
Well, mostly you have to fundraise locally. We do get some money from the town, but there's one curator, Anne Shropshire, and she pretty much organizes and beats.
So Heritage Canada or Heritage Ontario give you?
Well, if you apply for grants, yes, but there's not a whole lot of money to go around. Mostly,
Do you get it?
get some. Get some. But today, this is a major fundraiser. And a lot of local, because this was a railroader town, and still is in many ways, a lot of the retired gentlemen assist with even laying track and doing maintenance and restoring boxcars and things. This car was, I think John said 1947.
Good year. It's true.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I was born.
Are we moving? Why did the door just open?
Well, we're waiting for John to come. Here he is. He might need help with that door.
Get it fixed one of these.
Yeah. The colder it gets, the harder it is to open it.
That's it. Everyone having a good time? Okay.
Look at the window.
How many of the kids have seen Santa? And don't forget, Mrs. Claus is telling stories. Okay.
The window.
And you can go to the telegraph office and have a special request sent to
That's
Santa
right.
by the telegraph. The old-fashioned way.
Alrighty.
This lady mentioned something about a raise.
what?
Raise.
A raise.
A raise.
Yeah,
Oh, a raise.
She wants a raise.
He's telling stories. He thinks he's safe because his wife's up top.
Oh, okay.
I don't want any of you people squealing.
No. We're saying we could use some.
It's on video, sorry.
Oh. I was going to say, because if anyone's hot,
No,
I'll turn the air conditioning on.
you got it right here.
Yeah, it's called opening the doors. All right, we'll be
Say
underway
bye.
in a couple of minutes.
Say bye.
Don't close the door. Don't close the door.
So the conductor being the boss, did I tell you that piece of wood right there? This is the head of his bed, so that when the trainman opened that door, there wasn't a draft on the poor man's head. So you had to have your perks.
Is that guy really in charge of safety for CNN?
He might have been for
Or
a
did he
time, I
steal-
don't know.
Did he
He's-
steal the code?
No, no, he was legit.
Yeah.
He was legit. Most of the guys that are helping operate the train, they're retired, but they were actual people doing that job when they retired. I think the engineer was just starting when my dad was retiring. I recognize a lot of the names.
Science and technology. All the old guys are dying off. They were looking for guys to help with that.
Yep. Yep. Come the zombie apocalypse, a lot of us old timers will be very valuable.
Well, I got a tour of the old base one steam engine.
Yep.
1950s.
There are, in this end of Ontario, I think there's a couple of steam engines that still do tourist runs. I think there was one to Wakefield.
It crashed.
Pardon?
It crashed. There's too many people along the line in Chelsea that started to complain about it. And we took it to the It goes from just outside Hull to Wakefield. And on the way up, you had to get it up. But you were passing by houses that were 20 feet of the track. And the little buggers that had spotlights on the end of the train. There was nice. The train came from
Really?
Alright, it's gonna go home.
it was a steam engine, but it rides with diesel electric like the just in case. So there was a washout on the track. So they applied to the conductor to do, I think it was something like $600,000 to redo the roadbed,
Yeah.
the ballast and everything. And they told us we were going to stuff it. So they tried fundraising and everything else. It was such a